What's up, everybody? My name is Joel Henderson. Welcome to... I don't know what we're calling it. I think we're just calling these by the names of the episode. Because it's too complicated to try to come up with a show that works for all of the things that we're going to talk about. Because I think we're just going to eventually do a show every week about some show.
Whatever one
If
we're
that
watching
makes sense,
currently,
yeah.
I guess. So this is the Laws of Gods and Men.
This is Laws of Gods and Men. I didn't even get to have to ask you this time.
Season 4.
Look at that. We're getting professional and shit.
Season 4, episode 6.
Episode 6.
Past the halfway point.
Yeah. I don't remember where this episode started. I'm going to be totally truthful with you people. I did very little preparation for today. I was busy getting a hearing aid.
And he usually does the preparation, so I mean, I guess I could have backed him up, but I did watch the episode more than once, so if that counts.
Okay, well then you tell me this, mister. I watched the episode more than once. Where does the show start? Because that's a damn good question.
I mean, it's hard to say. I know there was one scene, and I think, I can't remember what the first scene was, but then I think it was Bravos. Then it was Stannis, and...
Yeah, I can't remember what exactly it started on. I know we ended up there relatively early in the show.
Yeah,
I don't think it was the first thing.
Like, I don't think it was the first thing.
I can't think of what else would have been... Anyways, that scene was cool because it showed that the Onion Knight is a better bargainer than maybe we thought, or just the fact that they were able to talk them into something that they were just like, nah.
Who are you talking about?
The Iron Bank.
The Iron Bank.
They were like, nah.
Seriously,
not
though,
gonna happen.
They were kind of.
They weren't dicks about it. They were just being realistic.
No shit. Like he laid out the numbers for him. Like
Yeah.
saying, like you can't even feed your own men. So like, why would I place any kind of?
I mean, that's a logical argument as a business owner.
No kidding. Like I can't disagree with the guy. No kidding.
Yeah. What did you make notes?
No.
Are you trying to find a recap that tells us what happened first? I've tried to do those before. I can never find them. At least not live, anyways. I never have any luck on that.
Okay, we'll just keep talking.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be... I don't know if that plays out for the betterment of Stannis in the long term. I mean, obviously it will in the short term, but I don't know that he's going to be able to pay it back.
Right, but and does he inherit... If he does win the throne, does he actually inherit the
debt?
The debt of the actual.
Good question.
He said the crown. The crown owes the Iron Bank so much money, a tremendous amount, as Tywin put it. That's the crown. So if he takes the crown, then he should inherit that debt. Correct?
In theory, you would, yeah. So maybe that's why they're doing it.
Because he's the more likely the one that's going to be paid. That's what I think. That's kind of what the point of Davos, what he was even saying, was kind of like they owe you all this money. They've been borrowing it from you. Your best chance of actually getting his back is backing him to take over the throne, and then
they're not
start
going to be
making
able
monthly payments. I guess.
Yeah,
You know what
I mean, or do things that you want. That's how all that shit changes so quickly in politics. Is it goes from somebody having a pure motivation to start, like Stannis having a claim to the throne, and then next thing you know, he's in bed with the bank, to the effect of them saying, okay, well now you have to do this. You know what I mean? Having some sort of an influence on him to where he loses the clarity that he started with, I think. I feel like he has a good claim to all this.
Well, of course he does. Well, the claim he has is that he was supposed to be the one to take over legally after Robert died.
Yeah.
Because of the claim that the two kids aren't his sons. They weren't real Baratheons.
Yeah. Wasn't this mentioned publicly, like outright for the first time? I mean, did that happen during the trial?
What?
Didn't he mention outright that they were bastard sons or whatever?
Tyrion?
Yeah.
Yeah, he screamed it at the end. He did. That was one of the things he said. But it had been mentioned publicly before because Stannis
you
sent
assume
a
it's
letter.
common knowledge.
Stannis sent a letter to everybody saying that.
Saying what? Oh, that
saying
they were...
That they were not... That they were bastards.
I mean, I would like to think that the people, as dumb as they seem to be in this era, are at least smart enough to have realized that if you have black hair and a blonde, you're not going to end up with a blonde.
Was the Ramsay Snow the first scene?
It might have been. It's very
'Cause that's
possible.
what it kind of looks like in this thing I'm looking at here.
Okay,
But-
well,
so
discuss
you wanna
that.
Just go over that real quick.
mean,
Are we done with the other one?
Basically, I mean,
Okay,
there's not much to it. They're
should
going to
stuff.
loan him money, and he's either going to
Well, he
sink
went
or
to go
sw-
pick up his pirate boy.
he's
his
either going to
pirate
sink or
buddy.
swim. Pun not intended, but
Right.
I accepted.
It is. That was a really cool scene. Speaking of which, the statue outside of Bravos, the big where they sailed on his legs, the big.
Yeah, that was that.
was really
That's
neat.
one of those things that is always going to intrigue me, and maybe not for, just like, oh, that's badass reasons, but just like the idea that somebody put something like that together so long ago. The magic of that, like, the Sphinx and the pyramids and things like
Same
that.
thing,
You know
kind
what I mean?
of a
It's
wonder
right
of
in
the
that
world
same
kind of thing. I see what you mean. Like, well, they talk about that. That's like it almost looked kind of like the Greek or Roman. It was like the Colossus of Rhodes or something.
Yeah, and
like
there
that.
used to
like,
be a thing like that in Greek mythology, anyways.
But I don't think it fell down. Like this tale of it is like nobody's ever seen this thing. It actually fell down before. There was like some remnants of it, but it fell down. Before there was ever.
What, in real life?
Yeah, that's the tale of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, that's what it looked like to me. And like the sword was missing. Like the part of the sword in his hand is broken. So like I was looking actually.
Oh, like he did it, like it was
when I
made
watched
that
the
way?
scene the second time, I was wondering, is it made that way? So I was looking down at the forest below to see if there was any like remnants of like the broken like statue had fallen. But it almost looks like it was made with the broken sword like that. Like I don't know.
Okay.
What a cool scene. That's one of the coolest looking cities we've seen so far.
I think
it was
stuff
really
on
cool.
that scale is just like, okay, that's cool. Like, you have to appreciate it, and
Right.
that's the kind of stuff that really intrigues me. Like, that felt very Lost-ish, you know what I mean, with the statue and
The way
stuff.
it
Like,
backed
that's
up
immediately
like
what I
that,
thought about.
I thought it was. Oh, see, your head would go there.
Yeah,
Lost.
I saw the
see
statue and
where
it
you're
was
going through that
huge.
gigantic statue.
Yeah.
That was great. It was really, really cool scene. They sailed right under his legs, but then they backed up, and if you looked around, there was like a port city kind of thing. Like there was all kinds of canals coming into that city of Bravos. That's a really good. I was looking at it and I paused it and I was looking at it in detail. It was really neat. What was that?
Oh, they're playing Tecmo Super Bowl in the
It
background.
sounded like Echo was choking on something.
No, that was Big Al just being
Choking on
expressing anger.
Here doesn't choke, man.
Okay, we don't need the commentary, Big Al.
All right. Well, okay. Well, so then moving into the stuff with Yara and Reek and Ramsey
Okay,
Snow.
yes.
She tried to free him, basically.
She tried to free him, and it was like I for the first time I thought, okay, good for her. For the first time in this whole show I've never sympathized with her character in any way, shape, or form.
She's had a really small part.
Yeah, but she also had her brother's small part, and it wasn't even a small part. So she fucked her brother knowingly, without telling him. Like, he probably should have figured it out.
But I guess, I
But
don't know.
she was always kind of like just one of those
Weirdo.
women
She was
that I don't like because they're like too. She just seemed like dykey,
yeah.
and by that I just mean like fuck men. I don't need men. I'm all tough and shit.
I mean, I
it's
didn't.
just not appealing.
Really? Did you really see that scene? What did you think that was going to happen? Did you think he would totally just like fight her off like that? Did you really think that was how that was going to go?
Well,
I mean, come on, that was pretty intense. That's
I
some
kind
pretty,
of
like,
did
deep,
only because
scarring torture.
Yeah.
To have somebody.
Only because of what they showed us before. That's the only reason that I even had an inkling that he wouldn't do it. What they showed us before with him, with the knife and with the shaving him, I just had a feeling, no, he's not going to want to go with her. Like, it seems logical, but now that he's going to have him play his old self, he's going to have Reek be
Theon Greyjoy.
It's I think that's going to change everything again. I think he's going to pretend to be Theon again, and then he might remember that he's Theon and
I think the same thing.
Kill what's his name, Ramsay Snow. As soon as he kills him, then it's over.
See, I don't think he's the one that gets him.
What, you don't think Theon gets to kill him? After all that he puts him through, you don't think that's the end game for that character? You think Ramsay Snow's getting it from somebody else? Who you think gets him?
Yara.
Okay,
come on,
it's
man.
still
This dude's
retribution for the same
badass.
thing.
I mean, come on, like, he's a dick. He's like, evil Frodo is a complete dick. But, dude, this motherfucker's got no shirt on, no armor. He's looking at a bunch of guys standing there with shields and axes and shit.
Says, this night is about to get interesting.
And just fucking headlong into him, man. Just charges straight up into him with his knife. And he's laughing and giggling the whole time he's killing these motherfuckers.
Man, when he first came in, I didn't think he was going to be I mean, obviously, I didn't think he was going to be the character he became, but because he started off as like seemingly a good guy, didn't
Well,
he?
he helped him escape, and then like took him in a circle, and then like it was weird.
Yeah,
like,
then he
took
started
him-
fucking with him, and it was just like a total change from what you thought the character was.
Yeah.
Good, well done, absolutely well done.
He's a good villain. He's an excellent
he's
villain.
a great villain. Yeah, it'll be a shame to see him go, but it will also be, in a Joffrey sense, very satisfying.
Well, yeah, absolutely. See, you know, that's one person I don't miss. Satisfying end to Joffrey's character, but I don't miss his character. I don't miss Joffrey.
You know what it does? It takes away that thing where it
The whole-
breaks my suspension of disbelief, where it's like, at this point, nobody would have put up with this asshole for this long. Even if he's the king, somebody would have said, you know what, fuck this. It's worth it to risk my life to take this dude out.
Well,
it would
and,
had to
and
have
that's
been.
what happened. But like I think Joffrey being king, it, like, brought this whole sense of tension to the King's Landing scenes. No matter if he was in the scene or not, just like, man, you better be careful what you say in this scene, or else you're
Yeah,
gonna be
because
fucked by
he
the
could
king.
just
He
flip
could
at any
fucking flip
second,
at any
yeah.
second. So, but now he's gone, and there's just kind of a calmness almost. Even though what's going on in King's Landing right now, there's a calmness without Joffrey.
Well, it feels like things are going to be handled rationally.
Without
Or there's at least going to be some
the
due process.
psychopath behind the king.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of expected Tolman to be a little bitch. I didn't expect him to be quite that much of a little bitch.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? You didn't think he was a little bitch when he turned it over to fucking his dad or his grandpa?
I mean, that's what he was supposed to do, isn't he?
Well,
I guess.
I mean, yeah, but
listen,
yeah,
but he's Tywin's bitch, though. That's exactly kind of
That's
what
what
they're
I'm
trying to
saying.
point out. But I don't know. He stood up a little and said it.
He acted. I mean, he like said
guess what
something
you
like
mean.
he was in charge, but he wasn't in charge,
No,
and
I mean-
and by outsourcing that first thing like that.
A bad call made to step into the kinghood like that. It's
Yeah,
just instead of
that's what I
handling
mean. I just
himself.
don't think it's.
But maybe it was because he's not quite of age yet.
Well, he's nowhere near of age. I mean,
Right,
he's
so,
definitely
so
young,
then-
but
then the hand of the king is running the show basically for now, until he gets old enough to make his own decisions. You know.
so it's a little frustrating in that regard, you know.
Well, it's just so. I mean, like, could they make it any more? I mean, did we miss? Are we missing stuff? Or are we going straight to the?
We're
to the
just
last
jumping
thing?
around.
Just
We'll
jump
we'll
around.
eventually hit on everything.
Okay.
Who gives a fuck?
The
If you
ti-
watch
okay.
the episode, piece it together yourself.
Right,
Jesus,
okay,
we're not
right. We're not the writers.
performing monkeys.
Okay, so the
Way we are.
so we're
sort of.
talking about the trial then, basically.
Yes. I mean, we're just talking about
About that
whatever.
scene.
Is that basically the whole of the episode?
That was the last.
I
half
mean,
of-
we
the
saw the
last
stuff
half,
with-
the last quarter of the episode.
I don't
was
know how to
just-
say his name. The bald dude. The bald dude with no junk.
Oh, Varys.
There
that
you
was
go.
a cool scene with him and Oberyn. I thought was a really nice, a really cool little scene. That little back and forth.
Trying to be smooth, walking through, and drops the thing. Later, guy.
Take it easy, man.
Good stuff. Okay, so
Oh, there's a small council meeting.
okay.
We saw a small council
And
meeting.
you
with
know my
Tywin,
favorite part of
the new
that?
members.
My favorite part of that was Oberyn not acknowledging him when he came in, acting like it was no big deal. He's not the king.
Who?
Tywin.
You know what? I love it. I love that dude's whole attitude. Like
Yeah.
he just totally doesn't give a fuck about anybody else.
I'm afraid he's going to turn into a bad guy.
Am I the master of something? Am I the master? Am I supposed to be the master of ships or coin now? What?
Yeah. And then somebody, I'm the master of coin.
Oh, the little fat dude,
Yeah.
Tywin's little bitch. He just tells him to go run and get paper. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Fetch me a parchment paper. He runs over there. Just a little fat dude runs up and goes and gets it. What a little bitch.
Yeah.
So I mean, the trial scene was pretty tense, I guess, with Tyrion and. I mean, how could they have made it so blatantly obvious that they were setting him up? I mean, like, did he not to get to call any witnesses to his defense or anything?
I don't think he did.
Like nobody came to
No,
his
it
defense
didn't
at all.
appear that way.
Like, how is that a fair trial? Does that, like,
It doesn't matter. That's not the world we live in here.
I
This
know,
world,
I get that.
yeah.
I get that, but there is supposed to be some sort of sense of fairness to it.
Well, I mean,
But I love how they turned everything around on him, though. I thought that was kind of brilliant. They brought up all the old shit that he did, where the guy was telling the story about when he smacked the king and was calling him an idiot.
yeah.
And they brought up all those old stories, and it was just, oh God, man, just everything. Those were great scenes, and like the great character building scenes for him. And they just used them all against him in that one scene. It was kind of good. It was great.
Huh. You almost forgot your fucking cord. Every time. And your phone. How did you forget that? It's like a fucking iPad. Get out of here with that off-brand bullshit. Off-brand shit. Fucking Android. Get yourself a fucking iPhone and be a hillbilly. I don't know why those two things correlate. They don't. So he, let's see. Tyrion. And I mean his.
Oh, he didn't get to call any witnesses.
No, his shit was great, to be honest. His performance was really one of the best he's done. The way he sat there exasperated for most of it, and
love
just
the way
looked
he
like
sat down when
Yeah.
Shay started saying what she started saying, and he was
Yeah.
just like, "I'm done,"
yeah.
just defeated.
Well, I mean, when we talked about Shay in the past, I assumed by this point she's dead. I thought for sure, because she was his, like, for real. Like, I think that she meant it at the time. Unless we're to believe now that she was always kind of against, or always willing to betray him. And I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case at all.
I can't, but I just didn't really see, right, like you said earlier, how she could not see, like, that he was trying to keep her safe. Like,
Just alive.
How could she take it so hard that way to do that to him?
To come back and totally go against. It's not like she
mean,
didn't know Cersei. It's
I
not like
guess-
she's just now learning. Like Cersei's got pulled some wool over her eyes. She knows who Cersei is.
Well, and see, you know what? There could have been too a threat that we don't know about yet. Now that we're talking about it, Cersei could have threatened her life. Said, "If you don't do this, I'll kill you."
Yeah, but I don't think she would have even done that. There has to be something worse,
I mean, it was just like the last.
like what we'll do to him or something.
Everything
no, I don't
else
know.
was so damning already. Like it wasn't even really needed. But hers was like.
It was the
icing
one
on the
that
cake.
killed him inside.
Right.
You know, I think that was the one that was just like, oh,
That
fuck,
was
her too.
Her Cersei's and her father's
Yeah, that was like
way
the final.
to really break him. But he just lost it. I love his reaction to it.
Well, because eventually he just gets fed up of the bullshit, and he's one that likes to speak his mind. So he's like, you know what, fuck it.
I'm not going to get any justice here.
Yeah, clearly. I mean,
Trial
it
by
was,
combat.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
Another section of my original prediction comes true.
What's that? That he was going to demand a trial by combat?
Well, it was going to be Tywin was going to be the head of the proceedings,
Okay,
and then he was going to demand a trial by combat.
interesting. Who else did we run into? I mean, do you have any guesses? I know we're just going to the end right away, but there's other stuff we'll jump back to.
Right.
What do you think is up next in terms of the trial? You think Oberyn still?
I'm sticking with that original prediction because
Okay.
I think that, yeah. I mean, they even showed him a little bit after, like, he said it. Like, he said trial by combat, and they flashed immediately to Oberyn.
Yeah.
And he kind of sat up like...
Well, yeah, I mean, he wants to piss off Tywin in any way that he can.
I think he can, and I think... I've seen the preview, too, to the next...
Oh, see, I don't do that.
See, well, I
Don't tell me
sometimes
previews.
Sometimes I don't... I'm not sitting next to
You're
the
all
remote, or I'm like,
spoilerish here all of a sudden.
I
What the
didn't
hell's your
mean to,
problem?
man. I didn't
I thought
mean
earlier
to.
he was telling me his prediction, and I said, "Oh, well, I think it would be cool if, for example, he thought he was going to pick Jaime, and then I think the more likely scenario is this now. I mean, it's kind of a combination now, but I thought it would be cool if he went to pick Jaime, and the crown was like, no, we're picking Jaime. He's our side of it, and then Brienne
do you
came
think
back.
They wouldn't do that though because of him only having one hand.
I know.
and nobody knows that he's been training.
Yeah, but I feel like a scenario could happen where it's him having to fight for the crown against the Red Viper, Oberyn guy. Like if he takes up for Tyrion because Tyrion doesn't have anybody after Bronn being gone, and Jaime now out of the equation. Like, I'm just thinking of another way to force it in that direction. Because he would probably think to pick Jaime, right?
Who?
Tyrion. If he had his choice, don't you think he would pick
Well,
Jaime?
I think Jaime would be his first. I think Bronn might be the first choice, though, even though because Jaime's only got
But
the one
Bronn's
hand.
gone, right?
I
Isn't
don't
he?
know. He's gone. He's in hiding, I think. He's still been working with Jaime. The last time we saw them.
Oh, yeah,
again.
they were training.
They were
That's
training
right.
again, so he's somewhere in King's Landing.
But he's not going to be able to fight for him.
I don't think so, because he's like, I think he's in hiding. I think they're after him, and if they catch him, they're going to arrest him.
Okay,
I
so he's
think
just hanging
he's
out
not
down
gonna
there.
be in that point. At this point, not going to be able to step up and fight for
Okay.
Tyrion.
Yeah,
I'm still going. Because to me, Tywin's champion is going to be the Mountain.
Yeah?
That's his
Oh,
main
yeah, I
dude,
guess
man.
he's going to have his go-to thing, and it'll be a slap in the face to Jaime. You know, that's another way to paint Jaime into a good guy role. They're just, I'm telling you, the only reason they had him rape her was so that it held it off a little bit longer.
Just for him to take one step backwards.
Yeah.
After taking 2 steps forwards,
Yeah.
he just takes one step
Just
backwards.
one little step backwards to make you go, oh, what a prick.
Right.
And then,
He's still going to be the redeemed character. But Tywin's champion is the Mountain, man. He's been.
God, it's going to be...
They've mentioned it more than once now.
You know what I'm thinking about now? I mean, besides the fact that sometimes people just die, like in the last episode with the Hodor thing, with Locke.
Yeah.
I feel like they're telling us everything that's going to happen. Like, I feel like we kind of know where everything's going to go. Or at least have a basic picture of it, in the sense of we know what everybody's motives are. By being around them for so long, we kind of get what everybody wants.
Well,
Like, we know what Arya wants. She wants revenge for everybody, so she's going to end up back to kill the Mountain and all those people, like she was saying on her list.
Right.
So it's just interesting to know that, like, oh, that's just not going to happen for a while. That'll happen, say,
I mean, see, some things that I thought were really going to happen like that, like you're talking about, didn't. Like, I thought Robb Stark was going to, I mean, like, when he first started to take over, like, I really thought he was going to be, like, a main character till the end. Like, I really thought that.
What it does, though, is it gives them time to grow up.
Absolutely.
And then the same generation of kids still gets to have the redemption, but
Right.
their biggest hope was taken away from them again. I just think that's great character development shit right there, where you know what I mean, where it gives a motive, and the fact that we're getting so much motive, it feels like he's tipping his hand, George R.R. Martin, like he's telling us where this is going without saying exactly where it's going.
I mean, I think they did do some of that with, like, the, I mean, because I really think, because Oberyn wants, the Mountain is the one who killed his family.
Oh, so he's trying to get... Okay, well, yeah, I mean, then obviously that's where it's all
So,
going.
I mean, like...
I mean, I forget about some of those details. You just rewatched the whole series. So you got some of that shit fresh in your mind.
Right.
Or you made those connections again, having watched some of Season 4. So, yeah,
Right.
I totally forgot about the
Yeah, I
Mountain
mean, it was
being
the
the
first,
one.
because I was really interested in his character, and that first conversation that he had with Tyrion really stuck with me.
Okay.
About his sister being raped and then split in half by the Mountain.
Okay.
And if he killed my family, then Tywin gave the order. Well, him and Tywin have already sort of resolved that in a couple of different conversations. When I said, so you deny involvement in my sister's death? And Tywin said, categorically.
Categorically. Let's
Oh,
see.
that's a scene we didn't talk about. Jaime and Tywin, when they made their little deal in the during the recess of the...
Oh, yeah, where you're
There
going to
was-
go on and become
he
a...
said, I'll leave the King's Guard, and I'll be your heir. I'll go
yeah,
and run
he said
Casterly
he
Rock,
said
and I'll be your
basically, if
heir.
you kill your son, then you're one step closer to not have to protect. You're supposed to be protecting the family. This is all supposed to be about protecting this family name.
Right,
And,
and
you're
he's-
gonna kill one of your only heirs.
Well, he said, because I'm in the King's
Yeah.
Guard. So if you kill Tyrion, who's
There's nobody
who's
to
gonna
do
carry
it.
your name on?
So that was
But-
kind of a ploy on his part, I think, to get out of the King's Guard
If
too.
you let him, well, see, you say that, but I think
He's
Tywin,
manipulating
I think
it as
Tywin had
much.
it planned from the beginning. I think the way he said "done" so fast, that's what he wanted all along.
Yeah.
He knew Jaime would step up for Tyrion in some way, shape, or form, and he said as soon as he gave him what he wanted, he said "done."
Yeah.
And Jaime was like, "Huh? Like that easily?" and then
Yeah.
realized it, like, oh shit, because he said, well, now you're
Yeah,
just gonna
he
go
thought
to,
he was doing the manipulating, and then he also got manipulated too.
Absolutely.
But I think he still kind of got what he wanted. He just doesn't trust the fact that his dad gave him what he wanted.
I won't. I mean, who would?
I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, it's not a. Yeah.
And then as soon as he walks up, and after that, he tells Tyrion what to do. He says, plead for mercy, and Father's taking care of this.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah,
I think
yeah.
Tyrion right there was just like, "Are you get out of my face
Yeah.
with this? Fuck that." I think he knew what he was going to do right there.
He knew what he was going to do ahead of time. He knows that far in advance everything he's going to do. I
Yeah,
think he's
okay.
one dude who's thinking ahead.
He might be the only one.
He's the only one who's playing the Game of Thrones.
Well, I don't know.
He's the
You
only
can't
one
say-
that's for real playing it. I mean, Stannis is
Tywin-
trying.
Stannis is trying to get in there.
Tywin is. I mean, he is, but he
Yeah, I
isn't.
mean, I think you might be right about. You made a prediction in a couple podcasts ago. But that old Papa Tywin might not be too long for this world. Hold debt to the Iron Bank.
Yeah, something's coming back
something's
to bite
kinda
him soon.
He's got a bastard kid on the throne. Everybody knows, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, that this is a bastard kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
That
mean,
there's no
ideally,
actual-
Stannis would just come and kill Tywin and then,
Well, he-
remove
see-
Tommen from the
See,
throne.
I don't think removing Tommen is an option. He would kill Tommen.
I am aware. I was just trying to be nice about it.
Yeah, I mean, because Tommen's a nice kid. I mean,
He seems pretty cool, actually,
Yeah.
for being.
But he would
a
have
tool.
to. That's part of the whole deal of usurping the throne, I guess.
Yeah, I know. It's still just a bummer to have to kill off more people. It feels like they just do it for shits and giggles. As long as it advances the story, I'm cool with them killing people off, though.
No.
Okay, who else did we not touch on? Did we talk about, speaking of not touching on people, did we talk about
We
Varys, or was that his name?
we didn't go into too much length on that discussion, but like
Neither did he.
You've been waiting. Have you been waiting for that?
No, neither
No,
was
sorry.
he.
I guess it. Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever.
Anyway, him and Oberyn was a good discussion.
Yeah, so Oberyn was just trying to figure out his motivations, basically,
I guess
or
he was just trying to figure out what this dude wants. Like, he's trying to get a better feel for Lord Varys.
Yeah.
It was an excellent line when he walks in. It says Lord Varys, and Varys turns around and says, "I'm not a noble man. You don't have any obligation to call me Lord." And Prince says, "Well, everyone does." And then Varys just
you
kind
could just turn to the camera and do your shrug.
goes, like, it's what happens.
Yeah.
I run shit, so.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
it was a real cocky shoulder shrug. It was great. It was my favorite line or non-line of the episode.
yeah,
It was that little shoulder
the body
shrug.
motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. Is that my kid in there yelling?
They're all yelling. Whatever. Is there anything else you can think of about this? Any scenes that we didn't hit on at all? I mean, did we see Sansa at all?
No.
Did we see Jon Snow?
No.
Did we see Bran?
Nope.
Did we see?
Arya, nope.
So no.
Oh,
Hound.
we did Daenerys.
We did see Daenerys.
We did see Daenerys. We did not talk about that scene yet.
Who-
But she was sitting in the throne room. And the dragons. The dragon came. The dragon came and killed the goats.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the dragons looked really impressive.
Yeah, I mean
And
that was
much
because it
larger.
was like beautiful, and it was like,
Wait.
oh, that doesn't happen here in this world, and then whoosh.
I almost thought what was going to happen was it was going to kill that kid. And then, like, somebody was going to be saying your dragons are killing innocent people here or something like that. I kind of thought that's where that was going to go. But then he just took the goats.
Yeah,
And then she pays the guy
three times what it's
the
worth.
amount of the goats, which was like a really cool. Who the hell is that, Tony?
Tony, yeah, pops in behind you.
I see his face right there.
Yep, he's probably gonna have a panic attack over there, so we won't we won't talk to him. So we saw Daenerys.
Right.
Was there any real movement with that? I mean, just the way
the
that.
fact that she's just kind
First of all, she
settling
has
in.
a million fucking titles.
Oh my God! I think that was even them a little bit poking fun at themselves. Even that little scene where she
But the
reads
fact that
the
she
whole,
had 212 people come in after that, and they were like, they didn't reread the titles every time, at least. Or did they?
No, I don't.
That would've been
They weren't going to do it
hilarious.
on camera, but like, it would have been funny for them to start doing it and like fade out.
Yeah,
Like,
cut to
oh,
the
come
next
on, are you
scene, like,
serious?
oh, fuck.
Right. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Even the people in the show were just like that.
But
They're
that
like,
was an
"Ah,
interesting scene. How he comes up and says, I'm of one of the most respected families in the city, and
It was ballsy.
my dad fixed these, the landmarks, and he even designed this pyramid.
Yeah.
She said, "I'd love to meet him." He said, "Well, you crucified him."
Yeah, that was interesting because, like, what he was basically getting at was that not all of the masters were
Cruel.
technically, cruel assholes, basically, and that's what they condemn them all to.
I mean,
It's already volumed down. Don't worry about it. I got it set up
it's
over there.
still a little. I mean, you can see both sides of that.
Yeah,
exchange,
but I think she
because
handled it properly.
I think she did by letting him bury his father.
Yeah, and that dude was
but
pretty.
not taking down everybody.
Yeah.
Like he said, I don't really care about the masters.
If you can make a case for them individually, I think she would be open to it. You know what I mean?
I'm a person who loved his dad and let me bury him so he can have peace in the next world. You know, like that was a kind thing.
Was this the thing?
I saw Sir Barrister in her background, kind of smiling at her like with approval, kind of like, "Here's you're doing this right."
Where was the scene where somebody said, and I ban you for... Oh, that was fucking Vikings, wasn't it? God damn it. See, this is why I can't watch two shows like that. I was thinking about where he said he bans him from going into the afterlife or whatever.
Oh, I ban you from Valhalla. Yeah, that was
Sorry.
Vikings.
See, this is why I can't watch those two shows at the same time, because I was thinking of like the scene where the guy was off talking to a kid, and it made me think it was in Game of Thrones world. I forgot the context. And like we were talking about in the afterlife, and I thought, well, maybe that was this show that was also talking about him cursing him for no reason or whatever.
That's okay.
Yeah, fucking Vikings.
Good show though.
It's not bad. I didn't hate what I saw.
Right.
And that's usually a good,
That's a good sign.
That's a good sign.
Right.
So Daenerys, I still say, is staying put for years. I don't think she's going anywhere for a long time.
I mean,
for some reason.
she's gonna have like millions of soldiers.
Yeah, she's gonna have to build up a huge
to try to take over.
I don't think it's gonna. I don't know.
I think I'll tell you what I think's gonna happen is they're gonna be asking her for help.
Who?
They're gonna turn whoever is sitting on the Iron Throne at the point in time when the White Walkers are like halfway across Westeros and they've taken over, the North and all that shit, and you know what I'm saying? Like if they get that far, this is just speculation, but like they're gonna have to ask her to bring her dragons over. They're gonna have to ask her to help. I think. Now this is like like she's staying put. They're gonna be going to her like we. Yeah. I know we killed your family and kicked you out of here and all that, but we could really use your help right now. You got dragons, and we got these guys that if you breathe dragon fire on them, they explode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, we need your help.
And I mean, the way that she blew, the way that the one did all those goats in one fire breath, like it would definitely get the coverage needed with three of them.
3 dragons would just fly across the lines of the White Walkers and just melt them.
You know what I'm thinking is going to happen in this show now? I don't think that this show is going to take place over 7 years in time within the show. I think there's going to be a time jump.
Like a 10-year time jump?
Well, fuck. That won't work for Arya and Bran, unfortunately. They won't be able to make them look 10 years older or 5 years older even. I was thinking like a 5-year time jump. Like, how are they going to make her all of a sudden look 20? Arya and Bran, too. How are they going to make him like an adult male? I just don't see how they can pull that
he's
off.
already actually grown up quite a bit
there
on camera. He's taking some more teenager-ish features.
But I mean, if I was just thinking that it feels like Daenerys maybe isn't going to pull this off in quote unquote this generation. Like it's going to take her for her army to breed and you know what I mean, to
train Unsullied, more Unsullied.
Well, and to just basically grow enough human beings to be her army. Right. Like if her whole army bred with women, you know what I mean? Like they could then expand to the next generation.
The Unsullied don't have.
Oh, yeah, there's nobody to hook up with, huh? There were no Unsullied women, huh? Of course, they were all Unsullied. Look at all the men that came out of them.
Yeah, but they all were eunuchs.
Oh, they're all eunuchs is what you're saying now. Oh,
right.
Oh, okay.
So it's impossible for them to breed.
I see. So then it has to happen this generation.
They have to train more Unsullied.
That doesn't make sense. They need to just continue on. They're going to have to continue on, but I don't think it's happening till the final season.
No.
I don't think she's moving. I'm making that prediction. Daenerys is not going anywhere until the last season of the show.
It's not going to be in a way you expect. It's not going to be her trying to take over. I'll add to your prediction in saying that they're going to be asking her to come and help.
Yeah, I
When
think
she
she's
finally does come across the narrow sea.
You know what? Maybe I was leaning towards what your buddy said about her not being shit or ever going to be shit. But what if she came to the aid with the dragons, and then everybody kind of voted her queen, and order was restored to the realm, so to speak, and that was it. That would be a decent ending.
It wouldn't be a bad ending.
Arya gets her revenge. Everybody else ends up where they want to be. They get Winterfell back, and you know what I mean. Rebuild it.
And it's Sansa and Tyrion are the lords of Winterfell.
Yeah.
And the wardens of the north.
I mean, I know we're going way ahead.
We're
but
way ahead we're going.
I don't give a shit. I'm going.
But that's cool.
Endgame.
Yeah, I know that's cool.
That's why I say that.
And have we talked about?
You said you had a prediction that was not going to be very. You think something's going to happen that you don't think is going to be well received, and I said I don't think it's plausible. And you're talking about, of course, that Tyrion dies.
Well, I don't think maybe necessarily in the way you think, but like
what as
maybe
a hero
he gets freed.
Yeah.
Or wins the combat.
Well,
however it may be.
He could win Winterfell
and then
back for him and die.
What Cersei, just right in the same scene, just runs up behind him.
Oh, that
sticks him with a
quickly,
knife
huh?
Or something like that, and just dies right there.
Well, then she dies.
Well, I would think so. Like, I don't know. That's not really a plausible.
He could die long term though.
Yeah.
He could die in the sense that he in the fight for Winterfell
Yeah.
to restore order to his wife's family.
Mm-hmm.
To get them back together, and he dies there. That would be an okay. Only at the end though.
But only no, he's got to be in.
He's got to be there until the ending.
Yeah. I tell
He
you
can
what,
die, but only then, and not a second before. You fucking asshole. This ending better be fucking spectacular. Is all I'm saying. The ending of the series.
We've had this conversation because of what he said about the Lost. The ending of Lost.
Left a huge turd on my doorstep, is how he felt about the Lost ending. So he better be shitting gold. Is all I'm saying. Better be shitting gold. If anybody, we seem to have some viewers. If anybody's watching and has any questions or wants to throw anything out there, I'm opening up the Q&A. Feature is disabled. Okay, excellent. So it's disabled. You know what? Fuck it. I got nothing else about this week. Do you got anything? Anything you can think of?
I mean, I think that
we came ill prepared. Is unfortunately the scenario. I just got a hearing aid.
We might have covered a lot of it. We might have missed a scene or two, but I think
if we do, we'll talk about it next week.
If anybody knows of anything they wanted to discuss or wanted to hear us talk about, yes, go ahead and put it in there. We will talk about it next week.
Yeah, shit's been going on. Yeah, we're at the end here.
Right, that's fine.
It's been a rough week.
I'm really looking forward to next week.
Yeah.
For Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Thanks for listening, everybody. See, look at that timing.
Look, there's your cue.
I knew it was coming.
All right. Good night, people.
Game of Thrones.
All these memories in my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.